Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Sunday, October the 10th, the year's 2021. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly open it and gap. As always, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. As we head into the second full week of trading this month, always remember to have your risk management in place. Do not lose any more than you're willing to lose on any one particular trade. So we look at the week and we're already 29 pips above the open, just 1 pip off the high and 39 pips off the low. And it looks like all the gaps have filled already. And I know the spread was about 10 or 12 when I first looked at the pound, so there was really no chance of getting in at that low today. We're putting in the opening range for the week. As you see, we are above the opening range for the month, this area, and we are within the opening range for the year. So there's potential to go long or short right here because we're also at the yearly open right there. Actually, we're just 1 pip below it. Now we're right at it. So there might be a big trade to be put on right here. So you have to trade what you see, and you have to take profit when the market smiles upon you, because price could crisscross across this line, as you can see here. So it touched through it a few times, finally broke it. Now maybe we can get a daily close above it. It might be going to push up. And last week we had an inside bar, so look for an inside bar break at 36, let's call it 58 to the north, and back to the the monthly inside bar that was 2 months ago, 36.01. So keep those two levels in mind. And there's some inside action, a lot on the monthly. And so far today, no pairs over 100 pips. We're only 4 hours into the trading day. One thing to note, that Monday the 11th is Columbus Day. I believe that's a U.S. bank holiday. So markets might be kind of scarce. We had the pivot point within the buy zone, so there was no real bias. But we also had that gap down, as I mentioned. But at the open, I remember seeing, I think it was 12 and 22 was the bid and ask. So once again, there wasn't anything to be had there. But you can see price rocketed through the buy zone just last hour and some money to be made. Looking left, you can see we're in some wick zones here. So it's going to probably be tough sledding this way. Buy zone range is too low. Pivot point says near the pivot, bias is short. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. And the weekly pivot we haven't hit yet, so this should be real interesting. We still have a couple of missed daily pivots here. We look over at the week. Oh, looks like we hit the weekly pivot. It was, see, what was it? 36.03. This says we had a low at 36.019. So we took out that weekly pivot. And there's one thing to note, depending on your broker, these pivots can be a little bit different. So if you're looking at your chart and you're seeing slightly different pivots from mine, you probably have a different broker. Notice there was very little candle body, so we're going to be in the wick zone here probably for a while, possibly all day. And as we look at the ranges, we looked at I believe we looked at on Friday, we looked at last week's ranges, but just in case, we didn't break out at a high. We didn't break out of the low, so we had an inside bar for the week. So we're going to look to break out of that inside bar here. Once again, call it 36.58 to the north and 35.31 to the south. And let's see here. Looking at the price action simple, I should actually turn this back into the wall mall lines here on the sweet spots, because this is one of the things that we do like to follow. And what did I do? I have to turn something on, show buy, sell, true. So you can see we had a break of the 40 here. You see we tested it a few times and actually broke it a few times last hour. So looking left, you could take your chances here. We also broke through the previous hour high. So as you can see, we're only 2 pips above this. So it's the type of thing where you just kind of, if you're going to play at this time of day, which I don't advise, because there's just not that much movement, you take your 1 or 2 pips and be happy. The lower highs and the higher lows, you can see there's not much distance between the two levels. It's not really even that much, only about 5 pips, 6 pips maybe. So there's not much of trading opportunities. You can see here trading's compressed. Sometimes it's just better just to sit and watch and wait for better trading opportunity. I know that's difficult because you want to get in there, you want to make money, but sometimes it's just best to sit back, watch and wait. Wait for your signal, take your signal. But the other thing, don't talk yourself out of trades. It's so easy to do. You've already got your trading plan. You know what your triggers are. But when you get that trigger, you hesitate, you start to, overthink, double think, second guess. Just take the trigger and put your money management and risk management on. We talked about improvement, and that might be the one thing that you need to work on is just taking your triggers. Because when you look back, of course, you have the hairy hindsight, but you go, oh, I missed that opportunity and I missed that one. Oh, and I could have made money there. Well, then you just take the trade. But I know what'll happen is you'll miss about 2 or 3 of them. Then you get in, then of course it goes against you, and then you get all frustrated and it puts you in a downward spiral. That's why you just got to keep trading your plan. Keep trading that method. Just keep at it. Because if the method's solid, if it's statistically sound, and your plan it is a profitable plan and you keep trading it, you will be profitable. The idea isn't to get a hit every time you get to the plate. The idea is to score more runs than the other team and win the game. And sometimes you're going to strike out. Sometimes you're going to pop out. Sometimes some guy's going to make a spectacular play that makes the highlight reel and rob you of a single or a homer or something. That's just the way it is. And trading is no different. You're going to get that set up, and it's going to you're going to allow it to wiggle you out because you were up 5 pips and it dropped back 2. You took your 3 pips off the table. Then it just goes to the moon. I mean, perfect example is my lottery ticket when I bought Bitcoin. I think I bought it around 40,000, and then it dropped down. Then as soon as it got to about 41 or so, I punched out, or I think it was maybe 43 or something, because my whole crypto portfolio was positive, and I just decided, you know what? I'll just scratch it and wait for another opportunity. Well, guess what? Should have stuck with my original plan. Just leave it the you know what alone. Leave it the heck alone. And just it was a lottery ticket. And it's like, if I would have lost, the few bucks I had in there, it would have been no big deal. But instead, I tried to I deviated from my plan, tried to micromanage, and I probably looking right now, I think I had about 5 or 7 different cryptos, just small pieces, nothing big, nothing over $1,000 per crypto. Like I said, they were lottery tickets, and I would have probably been up about 50% right now, if not more. But so lesson learned is if you have a plan, stick with it. Don't deviate. Don't mess with it. And just follow your plan. But on the other hand, one of the reasons why I did exit was I thought, you know what, the chances of Bitcoin, going 10 times wasn't that good. So let me just get out, start over, find a few smaller cryptos that might have that chance to, go 10 times or 20 times or 50 times, But who knows? They're talking about Bitcoin being $200,000 by the end of the year, or 200 by the end of next year or something. You just never know. Then again, who knows what the government could outlaw cryptos and you could be stuck. So even though I don't think that's going to happen, it would be that would be really draconian. I try not to talk too much politics here, but I think that could trigger some unrest by hundreds of thousands of people. Anyway, back to trading. One of the things, let's see, I remember that wanted to look at some of the other currencies. Here we look at the euro. Once again, its range has really been compressed. I mean, there's the opening range for the month. As you can see, it's back in that opening range. And there's the opening range for the year, way up there. So we're 651 pips below it. Oh, I know there was something. I had some questions. One person wanted to know how they could get ATR next to the price here. If you come into the dashboard, there's 2 ways you could do that. Either one, if you could change this from price, you could change that to ATR percent, I think is what you wanted. Or if you wanted it somewhere else, you could take another column and change its number. Now, just a quick reminder for the people using the dashboard, column 1's here, column 19's here. It's kind of like bar numbers. It goes this way to increase from right to left. So that's one way of doing it. Changing this to ATR percent. The other way is if you want it to, you could come in and give a different column number. I don't know if it'll do 20. I think 19 was the highest, but we'll see what happens. ATR percent threshold. I think I have to give it a threshold. Let's call it 90. And since this is ATR, let's just use 14 ATR. Let's see if that works. And yes, it did. So that's how you do that. So, fellow traders, I wish you a profitable week. Hope you had a fun and safe weekend. And just remember, when you're trading, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out. And don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks.